Hey folks, Sega Sonic fan here. Today we're diving into the Wii Action Pack wand and gun attachment combo for the Wii. I was on the prowl for the best light gun sort of holster, if you will, for the Wii, and this came up as kind of the best affordable option. It's a really cool thing because it's not just a plastic attachment. By the way, this is kind of what it looks when you get it more put together. I've already been taking it apart a little bit. There's some really cool things about this, so I guess this is kind of a review slash modification video here. So I will say really quick, there is one thing called the Penguin Crossfire, which looks like it's probably better than this and is really cool, but that thing is extremely rare and I don't know where to buy one. I would love one. But yeah, I don't think those are going to be up for sale anymore. It's this small company that went out of business, you know, almost 10 years ago now. So the next best option, it looks like, for a Wii gun controller that has the Wiimote sort of built in, is this setup. Because what it is it's a specialized controller made just for light gun games. It has a much better speaker, actually. I mean, it's not perfect by any means, but I think it's definitely improved on the original terrible piezo electric speaker that the Wiimote official one has. And it's also it does a better job of delivering the vibration sensitivity into the handle of the gun controller, like much better than any other. And I think part of that probably has to do with the vibration. The actual component maybe is further down. Maybe it's like down in here or something. I haven't opened this up yet, so I don't know. And what else does it have? If you hit, this is actually a button right here, which is really cool, and you can use that as your A button. And so that really helps as well. So you're not having to, you know, go on the top of the gun here all the time, which is really annoying for certain games. So there's a lot going for this. It's pretty sweet. And you can also flip a button switch on the bottom of it to change the A and the B button from the trigger to this button on the back. So yeah, really cool stuff. Really cool stuff. But like everything else in life, nothing's perfect, and there are some improvements that I'm making to this because there's some things that I just wasn't crazy about. First thing is, number one thing is the trigger action. The trigger action is obviously, here's your trigger. Let me take off the top here and kind of get a better view. If you look in there, there's you see that metal rod right down there, so that runs through the opening, and this kind of pivots on that. Additionally, on the blue part to the left, there is a spring that is vertically mounted, pushing down on the trigger so that you're pushing against the spring to hit the button. Now that's kind of nice. Like, it's kind of nice to have a little bit of recoil action or whatever you call that when you have the spring tension there. It kind of makes it feel, you know, cool in a way. But the spring tension is too much, and I'm going to actually probably drill down this spring a little bit shorter. Spring tension is definitely too much, and the bigger issue for me is this tactile button. So that's what you click when you fire a shot, and let's compare that to a typical Wiimote, which this is actually the same as the official one, which is this one. And I don't know if you can hear that, but this uses what's called a membrane push button interface, which is one of these essentially. It's rubber with a slightly conductive material underneath, and then two exposed copper pads that make the connection. And so that has some definite advantages over a classic tactile push button, which is what this is. And what are those advantages? Well, one is a tactile push button usually requires quite a bit more force. These are quite a bit better, actually, these kind of lower profile ones. They have different ones that require different amounts of force, but tactile push buttons on a whole require a lot more force. And for carpal tunnel, it's just really problematic. And I have carpal tunnel, and so I really want something that is easier on my hands. And also, I think if you release these, you can actually make more points of you can make a point of contact more quickly with with these membrane pads, and I can't go really into depth into it because I haven't actually like done a bunch of research on it. I can just tell you that I personally prefer these kind of buttons in just about everything. The only thing I can think of that I don't prefer them in is an arcade joystick, like an actual vertical joystick. But in every game controller, I just prefer them for everything, even L and R buttons, which the PS1 introduced, which was kind of cool. Even though the Saturn actually used tactile push buttons. That's right, I said it. I complimented the PlayStation, not the Saturn. So yeah, I love these kind of push buttons. I'm going to go ahead and hack one of those in. Do my best to do that. If I can't, I'm going to go ahead and opt for a less resistance push button that's actually got a wider, action face too. The other thing that I may or may not do, depending on if I decide to care about it enough, is make this accessible to the Wii Motion Plus adapter. In a strange decision, NYKO decided to leave out the two openings on either side of the plug here, and also this other opening here, or that's the wrist strap opening actually. But there are at least these two openings, and without those, you can't connect the Wii Motion Plus adapter, which is kind of silly. So I'm actually not even sure if this is compatible with Wii Motion Plus. I have to double check on that. It's interesting though that this is actually pretty much all just a pass-through. There's this additional cable here, which I guess is the... oh, interesting. That's probably what these 3 pins are maybe for. Maybe those extra pins are just for this switch. Not sure. It's interesting stuff how they do this. I'd be interested to see. Might open the wand at some point. So yeah, I'm going to finish up rambling here, but I'll post back possibly if there's interest with my results. I'm pretty confident I'll be able to come up with something better than what NYKO did originally. And this will be, more or less the ultimate gun controller for Wii when I'm done with it. So have fun hacking your Wii stuff. This is Sega Sonic Fan, signing out.